This is the Momentum Podcast.
Welcome to a very special episode of the Momentum Podcast. In this episode, we're giving you a peek behind the curtain, a sneak peek into the Charfen Summit. The Charfen Summit is an event we host for all of the members of our coaching programs. We take a deep dive into what it means to implement the foundational pieces of our content. Members get live interaction and get to ask questions to members of our team. We host panels with our members who are absolutely crushing it and making a massive change with their businesses. Each summit we host is absolutely game-changing for the members in our coaching programs. This clip comes from an interaction that Alex had with one of our members at our last Charfen Summit, and Alex talks very candidly about a piece of foundational content that we have, the Charfen process. I hope you enjoy.
I'm Alex Charfen, and this is the Momentum Podcast, made for empire builders, game changers, trailblazers, shot takers, record breakers, world makers, and creators of all kinds. Those among us who can't turn it off and don't know why anyone would want to. We challenge complacency, destroy apathy, and we are obsessed with creating momentum so we can roll over bureaucracy and make our greatest contribution. Sure, we pay attention to their rules, but only so that we can bend them, break them, then rewrite them around our own will. We don't accept our destiny, we define it. We don't understand defeat because you only lose if you stop, and we don't know how. While the rest of the world strives for average and clings desperately to the status quo, we are the minority, the few, who are willing to hallucinate there could be a better future. And instead of just daydreaming of what could be, we endure the vulnerability and exposure it takes to make it real. We are the evolutionary hunters, clearly the most important people in the world, because entrepreneurs are the only source of consistent, positive human evolution, and we always will be.
Alex, we have a question that came in. Do you want to answer that before you do this?
Sweet.
Okay, it says it's Devin Dorosh.
Nice.
We've been stuck at the operator level for a long time. I really don't have all the foundation in place going all the way back to a consistent routine, planning, etc. How do you balance getting each step in place while trying to keep your team in place and training them along the way?
I would use our systems, Devin. So at first, I don't like the concept or the hang on, I want to be able to see everybody while I talk. So where is Devin? I don't like the concept or even the belief system of balance. I want us to be really careful with even thinking about balance. Is that fair, Devin? Here's why. When I think about balance, here's what I have in my head. I think of an entrepreneur walking a tightrope with business on one side and family and personal life on the other, and praying to God they do not fall off. By the way, for how many of you does it actually feel that way? Like when I talk about balance, it's like, oh, we're, stringing to a string across two high rises, and we're going to walk across this thing and we're going to pull it off somehow. But it's like, it never really works. Balance doesn't really happen. And so, Devin, here's what I would suggest. Go into the platform and look at personal congruency 1 and 2. It's in our planning system, because here's what happens to entrepreneurs when I share this stuff. We all say, oh, okay, I'm going to do all of that this week. Actually, maybe just Monday, I'll knock out everything on the Billionaire Code that I missed. And then by Tuesday, I'll be all caught up. And the reason Deanna's having such a big reaction is she coaches this stuff all the time, where you guys get on and, she'll get a question like, I have 2 hours today. How do I shore up everything that I missed on the Billionaire Code? And, what we talk about is this is a process. This is digging in. And so, Devin, when you run personal congruency 1 and 2, here's what happens. You will go through a thinking process, much like the lenses for business, but what they will reveal to you, where is the major focus needed now? We want you to be able to use the Charfen process. We have a 5-step process for everything that we do. Analyze, prioritize, commit, execute, and renew. Man, it's so awesome that every time I say the Charfen process, I get goosebumps. Here's why I get goosebumps. Because I know that if you're willing to analyze, you're ahead of 99% of entrepreneurs, because most entrepreneurs don't analyze. They do everything by feeling. They jump in head first. If you're willing to prioritize, you are now miles ahead of your competition, because most businesses don't do anything around prioritization. Again, they do it by feel or what they heard at the last conference or what was the most recent thing that went into their heads. Then you commit. This is massive. Committing to a plan that you're not going to shift or change actually starts allowing you to have perspective as to what you're capable of. executing that plan during an execution period where the focus is execution, not changing the outcome, will get you to the point where now you understand what you can do and you can go back and renew the process where you take your results with you and you go right back up to analyze. And Devin, what I would suggest is you use the systems that we have to identify what you should be focused on this quarter and then relax into it. And I know that sounds crazy to tell entrepreneurs to relax into it, but here's what happens for me now. I've been running our personal congruency models for years. About every 90 days, Katie and I go through the exercises. We set up a new net worth goal. We sit down as a couple and we plan out what we're going to do for the next 90 days and where our focus is going to be. And here's what it's finally allowed me to do is once I have my personal waterfall set up, I can release the question, what should I be doing? What should I add? What else do I need? All of those things that are like this constant pattern in my head. And I can let go of those and just go focus on the waterfall. Now, same thing in my business. When we go through the analyze, prioritize, commit stages of 5 core functions and understanding our annual and our quarterly, I can get to the point where I'm like, I can release that. I can let go of it. Now, I want everyone to understand something. I'm not good at this. Neither are any of you. As soon as we create a plan, it's like Murphy's Law. The day after we have a waterfall in place, I have like 95 ideas. Is there anybody else who has this condition? Like as soon as you commit to stuff in your business, the next day you're like, oh, now I really know what we should have done. Well, here's the discipline that it takes to be an entrepreneur who can run a team in a consistent way and grow not just the business, but the people around you is you just commit to what you're doing. You commit to the waterfall. So Devin, use the personal processes so you don't overwhelm yourself in the process of shoring all of this stuff up. And focus on it at the quarterly 90 days and then every single month through doing a personal waterfall. I'm laughing because out of the corner of my eye, I saw that Lori Noga said 95 ideas by breakfast. It's interesting that you said that, Lori, because in the back of my mind, when I was talking about entrepreneurs who are addicted to new, one of the entrepreneurs I had in mind might have been you, Lori. So I just want you to know that there might be a little bit of transference there, that you're actually participating and answering back. I think energetically we're connecting here, and dropping the addiction to new is a commitment to mastery. Oh, I'm going to put that on Facebook. Dropping the addiction to new is a commitment to mastery, because if you continue to focus on the right thing, that's where you're going to get the progress you really want.
That interaction was so game-changing for everyone that attended the Charfen Summit. And listen, we want you to be there as well. If you're ready to stop peeking behind the curtain and get behind the curtain yourself and attend the Charfen Summit, go to billionairecode.com right now. When you go to billionairecode.com, you'll be able to answer a few questions for our team and hop on a call with one of our coaches to find out which of our programs is the best fit for you and your business. And if you go to billionairecode.com right now, you'll be able to be at the next Charfen Summit yourself. Go to billionairecode.com.